onto a walkthrough of our questions. So not too many to do today, but we want to get you into the habit of doing it really well and making sure that you set it out correctly and put in all of your working out. Really important skill to actually have. So first question that we have here, we have an equation, and with all equations, as I've done in all previous videos, I'm going to highlight the pronumeral. Okay, so when we are solving an equation, we want to get the pronumeral just by itself. So let's have a look at this particular question. So we're going to copy and complete the following. So we've got this. Now let's walk you through. So if I'm getting x by itself, I have to divide by 7 because I have multiplied by 7. And to undo that, I do the opposite operation, which is divide by 7. So I need to divide by 7 on each side, and then I come up with my answer. So let's go through and see what that is. So 42 divided by 7. You can even add 2 lines for this if it makes your life a bit easier. So I could even write, let's make that a little bit easier to see. I could even write 42 divided by 7. And then I could write a final line of x, because I can chuck that into the calculator, and 42 divided by 7 gives us 6. Okay, now to double check if we've actually answered our question. So what is the solution? What is the solution to this equation? So we have to write a statement for this. So the solution is exactly what we had over here with our x equals 6. But we write that as a statement. So our solution is x equals 6. Next question, similar again. But this time you don't have to do this second step. You're kind of just filling in the gaps for these. I'm going to use this side over here as a little bit of working out so I can get used to practicing that skill and keep going from there. So first one I've got here is 5 plus a, and again, similarly as I've done before, I'm going to highlight that pronumeral because that's what I want to have at the end as my final line when I'm solving an equation. So let's have a look. If I've gone from 5 plus a to a, how do I get rid of this 5? So if it's plus 5, I have to then minus 5. So let's write that in. And what I do to one side, I do to the other side. And I'm just going to do a little check over here. So if I do, use a different color. So 5 plus a equals 30. And then I do the operation that I've done here on both sides. So I minus 5 here, and I minus 5 here. Then on my next line, so 5 minus 5 is 0, so I just end up with a. And 30 minus 5 gives me 25, so I am done for that one. Next one, let's have a look. Similarly, exactly the same, we go through the same process. So I've got my pronumeral here is c, okay, and I want to get to the statement of c equals 48. So I can see, to get my c by itself, I have a divide by 4. I have to multiply it by 4, and what I do to one side, I have to also do to the other side as well. And we'll make that, apologies. We'll also double check that by substituting it in as well as we did with our previous question. So I have 12 equals c over 4. If I then multiply this side by 4 and this side also by 4, I end up with 12 times 4 is 48, and c divided by 4 multiplied by 4 just ends up with c. On to question number 5. So again, you're solving these systematically and you're going through with each of them. Make sure that you are following along and you are actually showing you're working out. Really important with all of these. So first one, I'm going to do just this first column, and then I will do the second column. So first column is just for our group A students, and second column is, the third column in is your group B students. So let's go through for each of these. So we've got letter A, we've got E, we've got I, we've got M, and we've got Q. So let's go through question for question, and we're doing the exact same process each time. So 6m equals 54. what I've got here, highlight my pronumeral so I can see what I have to do. First thing I can see is 6 multiplied by m, so I need to divide by 6, and what I do to one side, I do the other, and I show my working out as well. So I do 54 divided by 6. When I put 54 divided by 6 into the calculator, it gives me a lovely number, hopefully. So 54 divided by 6 gives me 9 as my answer. Let's just do that in the right colour. And 6m divided by 6 just gives me m. So that is my answer for that one. Moving on to the next one. So I've got 7 plus t equals 9. I want to have my t to itself. So if I've got plus 7 over here, I need to get rid of that, and what I do to one side, I do the other side as well. So if I've plus 7 there, I'm going to minus 7 on both sides. So 7 minus 7 just ends up being t. Then I have, so t equals 9 minus 7 is 2. On to our next one. So I've got 24 equals j multiplied by 6. So first things first, our pronumeral is j. And then I want to have a look at what I can do. So if I'm multiplying by 6, I want to then divide by 6 on both sides. So 24 divided by 6 gives me 4. And 6j, or j times 6, divided by 6, those two cancel out, and I just end up with my j. This is not our final answer. We need to rewrite it with our letter first, followed by our number. Oh, sorry. Followed by our number. So that will be your answer for that one. Last two, we have k divided by 5 equals 1. So k divided by 5 equals 1. So again, I want my pronumeral by itself. If I am dividing by 5, I need the reverse operation, the opposite operation, which means I am multiplying by 5, and I do that to both sides of the equation. So let's do multiply by 5 to each side. So again, divide and times, cancel each other out, and then I am left with k, and 1 times 5 does indeed equal 5. Last one for our group A students. We have b multiplied by 10 gives 120. So again, remember these are all one-step equations. We are looking at a process and following it every single time. So I've got my pronumeral, and then because I'm multiplying by 10, I'm going to need to do the reverse operation, which means I am going to be dividing by 10, and what I do to one side, I do to the other side as well. So b times 10 divided by 10, I end up just with b, because again, these two cancel each other out. And then 120 divided by 10 gives me 12. Okay, on to our B group questions. So I've got letter C, G, K, O, and S. Okay, so first question we've got there is S multiplied by 9 gives us 81. So S multiplied by 9 gives us 81. I want just my pronumeral of S by itself on that side. So if I'm multiplying by 9, I then have to divide by 9 because it is the opposite operation. Then I end up with just S because again, multiplying something by 9 and then dividing it by 9 just cancels each other out. And then 81 divided by 9 gives me my answer of 9 because it is a nice squared number. Okay, G, we have 4y equals 48. So this means that I am multiplying by 4. So if I'm going to do the reverse, I'm going to be dividing by 4 to each side. So I end up with y, and 48 divided by 4 gives us 12. Nearly done. We have now got 8z equals 56. So again, I'm multiplying here, which means I need to divide, and I divide by that number, which is 8. So divide each side by 8. Again, these two cancel out, the 8 and the 8, so I'm just left with z, and z equals 56 divided by 8, and the calculator gives us 7. Last question, or second last question, my apologies. Oh, yep. So I now have, oh, I've mucked that up. That's okay. I can fix that for later. So this one was O and this one will be K. Apologies. So I've got 1 equals V divided by 2. Again, I want to have my pronumeral on my left-hand side. We'll deal with that last, but let's see how we can get rid of some things. So I've got divided by 2 here, and I want to only have the V by itself. So opposite of divide by 2 is times by 2. So what I do to one side, I have to do the other. 1 times 2 is 2. V divided by 2, multiply by 2, these two cancel out. So I've got 2 equals V. That's not the correct answer in the end. We need to then flip our equation, because we can do that. So we flip them, and we end up with our letter equals a number. Okay, and our letter S we have is 5 plus A gives us 13. Nice and simple for this one. So again, I want the A by itself. So if I'm plussing 5 over here, I am then going to be minusing 5 on both sides to get rid of it. And then I'm left with A equals 13 minus 5. Nice number of 8. Okay, last question, and then there is one other additional extension question, I believe. For each of the following, write an equation, and then we're going to solve it. So the first thing I've got here is I have 3 parts here, and I've also been given a statement here that is the sum. So when I have a sum of something, it means that I am adding. So I can write it out as the sum of x and 5, and this word is refers to equals because it's at the end of a sentence. So now I can actually go and solve that. So I need to have just my x by itself, as I've done with all the others. And if I've got plus 5 on this side, I need to do minus 5 because it is the opposite operation. And then these two will cancel out. And then I end up with my solution. So I've got x on this side because they cancelled out. And 12 minus 5 is 7. Next one I've got is the product. Again, a product means that I am actually multiplying. And I've got the numbers of 2 and y is 10. And again, that word is at the end of a sentence means equals. So now I've got 2 multiplied by y equals 10. Now I can actually answer the question. So I want to get the y by itself. So how do I undo this 2? Because it's multiplying, I divide. So I divide by 2 on both sides. So I end up with y equaling 10 divided by 2, which is 5. One more question. So, write equations and solve them systematically to find the unknown value in each of the following diagrams. First of all, these are both rectangles. So that's the first thing I know. Excuse me. And an area of a rectangle is its 2 sides are multiplied together. So, I have my area and I also have my 2 sides. So let's write that all out. So I have 3 multiplied by b, and let's substitute in now. So my area is 15 equals 3 multiplied by b, and I want to find the value of this b here. So I need to solve this systematically. So if I'm multiplying by 3 here, I then want to divide by 3, and I do that on both sides to give me my value of b. Again, these two cross out, nice and easy, and 15 divided by 3 is 5. I need to rewrite that because I need the letter first, so I flip it around, so b equals 5 for this question. Nice and simple. Next one, again, I have my area, which is 12, and when I'm substituting it in, I've got x multiplied by 4. I could rewrite that as well as 4 multiplied by x. It would be the exact same statement. So now we want to be finding what our x value is. So let's undo some things. So I've got multiplication here, which means I need to then divide. And what I do to one side, I do the other side too. So 12 divided by 4 gives me 3. And then 4 multiplied by 4 divided by 4 Those cancel out and I end up with X, and I need to rewrite my statement to have my letter first and my number next, and you are done.